my love, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. I just tried to record this video, but I was like, whoa, Gazina, you're talking too fast, too chaotic. So we're gonna bring it down a little bit, but at the same time, you know I'm very energetic, but I also want to give you this information so you can really take it on board, disrupt the patterns, and truly step into being a human magnet, right? Because that's what this video is all about. It's about creating magnetism, not even creating it, but fully understanding it and then allowing yourself to become it. Now, when it comes to magnetism, it's something that everybody wants, right? Where we say, I don't chase, I attract. I'm gonna hold your hand whilst I say this, because it's going to be a bit harsh to begin with. Right now, you're neither chasing nor attracting. You're not selling and you're also not calling people in. So you're pretty much neutral. Things are pretty much steady. What I want to do in this video is I want you to understand exactly why this is, and I want to ignite your magnetism. I want to bring you out of your shell. I want to disrupt and unleash you. Understand it like this. Your magnetism is here, you are like the magnet, and the people are already there. The people are already in front of you. They're already in your audience. The problem is that you currently don't have the current to get the people towards you, right? Your current isn't strong enough for them to be pulled in. So what we need to do is we need to not try and market harder and be louder. We need to increase your electric currency. We need to increase your currency so actually you can call the people in by being more you, because we know that I'm all about disrupting the patterns and owning who the fuck you really are. When you can own who you really are, you become the magnet. So in this video, we're going to go through exactly why you struggle to own that, but also what we can do to get you into being a human magnet. Now, when it comes to magnetism, it's not that you struggle with marketing, right? You could have the best marketing frameworks, the best strategy, but the problem isn't the frameworks or the strategy. It's the fact that you're not being yourself. You're not putting your own spin on it. You're not sharing your opinions. So the struggle is actually people can't feel you. They may see you and they may hear you, but they don't feel you. And when they can't feel you, they're not going to tap in. And the reason that your audience cannot feel you right now, but they see you, you're being consistent, but they can't feel it and be like, yes, I want some of that, is because you're blending in. You're saying things that are acceptable. You're saying things to be liked. Now, being a magnet isn't about being the most controversial or being a bitch or being a bad person, but it is about standing in your truth and sharing the opinions that are different, because you have to stand out as well to actually call in the people that also stand on your side with your truth, and they need to hear what it is that you're saying. So everyone wants to be magnetic, but magnetism is not created when you try and attract, right? You try and do new Canva graphics, new outfits, new branding, new strategy. No. Magnetism happens when you stop hiding, when you actually step into authenticity. Authenticity is a whole different topic, so I feel like everyone uses it as such a buzzword, but when you are truly authentic, there's no filter. You're unapologetic, you're truly yourself, and you're all these different parts of you. You're the fun part, the playful part, the silly part, the professional part, the authoritative part, just all these different parts, right? It's when you bring all of these parts to you to the table and you have nothing to hide, because you know that you're enough and you know that actually you get to be accepted for this. So in order for you to do that, we have to disrupt the patterns. But first of all, let's really get clear on magnetism, because again, it's one of those buzzwords, you want to be a magnet. Okay, cool, what does that mean? It means that you want to be able to just call the people in, have people come to you, have opportunities come to you. So for someone to come to you and say, I want you on my podcast, I want you in this video, I want you to coach me, I want you to sort out my social media with me. You want the opportunities to come to you. That does require effort and work, but when you are truly embodied in who you are, the right people will step forward and go, I really vibe with you, I want you. And that's what we want, right? Is to be chosen, I guess, but to be chosen for being you and not for you trying to be somebody else, right? People can just feel your energy and go, ooh, there's something about her. I don't know what it is, but there's something about her. That's what we're trying to unleash here, right? Being a magnet isn't about chasing attention, but it's about attention reorganizing itself around you. So you're not being like, oh, I'm louder, everybody want me hi, but it's actually going, I'm so fully embodied and powerful in who I am that actually the attention wants me. That's how much magnetism I have. That's how much I'm pulling it in, because I'm not even trying. I am just being me, right? And when you are you, oh my God, life is just It's wow. So magnetism is when people can feel your certainty. It's not about being the loudest, it's not about having the most hype, it's not about having dominance, but it's about certainty and being so clear in who you are, what you do. And the reason why most women don't fully step into the whole like I attract is because you're editing yourself, you're polishing yourself, you're capable, you're intelligent, yeah, for sure, but you're filtered. And when you're filtered, people can't feel you. I remember, to be a magnet, like, we want to feel you. We want to be drawn into you. I don't care about the knowledge you have. Sure, like, have the results and like have the knowledge, but like, I want to be able to feel your presence. I want to be able to feel your energy. And we can't feel that when you have a guard up. We can't feel that when you're being filtered. When we're filtering ourselves, we do it for a reason. It's something that can happen subconsciously, it's involuntary, and it's a protective mechanism that you have picked up from your past. You have been taught, or you have learned, or you've given certain experiences a meaning that you must act differently, that you must fit in, that you must filter yourself, that you can't be unapologetic, that you have to fit the crowd. Now, the reason we have this protective mechanism is because your brain just wants to keep you safe. It's not wired for success, it's wired for safety. So when we are hiding ourselves, when we are filtered, when we're not fully expressed, it's because we unconsciously fear that if I were to say what I was going to say, if I didn't have this filter, if I broke free from this filter and I was the truest version of me, actually a part of me is quite scared of rejection. I'm quite scared of being judged. I'm scared of being misunderstood, of people not approving of me. I'm scared that if I fully stepped into this version and I embodied it and I owned it, that I'm going to outgrow people, I'm going to leave people behind and people won't like me. It's all of these fears that are stopping you from being a magnet. Again, you want to be liked, you want to be approved, you want to fit in, but magnetism isn't about that. You need to have repelling energy, right? A magnet attracts and repels. You also need to be able to repel. But right now, the thought of repelling someone, you go, no, I can't do that. That makes me a bad person. And that's why you're not being a human magnet. Within my program, Disrupt the Pattern, I do talk about archetype. And I've done a video on a previous archetype, which is the good girl. But essentially, I'm going to do a whole different video on this. So definitely make sure that you like, subscribe if you're enjoying this style of content, to understand what your biggest blocks are and how it is to do with your identity. But essentially, different identities leak safety in different ways. So for example, we have the good girl, which I've already introduced to you. Now, the good girl is the girl who at school would sit in the classroom and raise her hand when she knew the answer and was waiting to be chosen, right? To be picked to speak. She wouldn't speak above anybody. She was likable, agreeable. She was very palatable. She was the good girl. Be nice, be good. And she hopes that she'll be noticed. She waits to be chosen. Then the next archetype is we have the masked leader. Now, this one's a really interesting one, but the masked leader basically performs power, performs authority. You can feel her effort and she is admired, but people keep their distance because, again, they can't feel her. Yes, you're professional, you have all of this knowledge, and that's great, and I admire you, and like, that's fantastic, but they keep their distance because, okay, but what else is there to you, right? I can see the effort, but what about the other side? Like, do you ever drop the guard? Like, what about the other? Do you have a different side of your personality? So you have the masked leader. You also have the compliance officer, which is my third archetype. Now, the compliance officer is the girl or the woman who grew up and was told she's too much. She's too loud, she's too much, like, dim yourself down. And right now, the compliance officer is showing up and she's self-censoring herself. She's looking at other people's pieces of content. She's making sure that she doesn't share her bold opinion, because growing up, she was told, don't be bold, don't be opinionated, like, keep it neutral, don't rock the boat. We have the good girl, we have the masked leader, and we have the compliance officer. Now, whichever one you fit into, they're all like respected in their own way, but they're not polarizing. They're not truly being themselves because there's always this filter. However, that identity is not going to get you to where you want to be. So essentially, what happens is your identity and the protective mechanism that is filtering you and diluting you and got you like in this box and you're not fully being able to express yourself. How this shows up is you sound like everybody else in your content. Your opinions are very careful and very curated. You don't just pick up your camera or say what you want to say. You really read each word and make sure you edit it. You ask yourself, is this okay? Is it too much? Will people take this how I want them to take it? You're always self-censoring and you're always just like double checking things. You avoid saying the real thing how you actually want to say it. You don't want to brag. You don't want to be too much. Who am I to say this? And that's why you're digestible. You're not unforgettable. You're not calling in the people because you're fitting in. So that magnetism is about getting rid of this old identity of who you believe you have to be, even the limiting stories you're telling yourself as to why you can't say the thing. What we don't want to do is just suddenly go, like fake it till you make it, I'm confident. Actually what we'll do is, if you want to be a human magnet, you want to own who you are, and we want to disrupt the rules, and actually want to start to actually believe it, because when you believe it, your whole physiology changes. So blending in is very, very expensive, right? You know it, because your bank account isn't really increasing, but also your energy dip, right? You know that you could be doing more, and maybe right now you're also attracting the clients that aren't really for you. Like, yeah, great, they're there and the money's coming in. They don't light you on fire. You can't be your true self. You can't share your personality. You can't just jump on a voice note and say what you want to say. You don't have real, true connections with your clients. And that's also going to be a downfall, because when it comes to the end of their 3 or 6 months, probably predicting they're not going to want to stay. And that's because you're not being your true self. As soon as I disrupted the pattern and I showed the true me online and in my business, my clients loved me even more, because they could relate to me, they connected with me, and also I became someone that they could just turn to. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is they stayed for longer. They renewed their contracts. But right now, if you're bringing in the clients who just kind of fall off and you're like, oh yeah, like it's nice, but I don't feel alive in my business, you need to remember that your business is an extension of you. So if you're not bringing in the right people, again, you're neutral, you're not being your true self, so you are attracting what you are. If you don't like your current business, why is that? Like, it's an extension of you, so what in you needs to change? Do you need to start showing your fun side? Do you need to start being a bit more repellent? So what you need to remember is your energy is the currency. So do you know how I said, like, we need to improve your energetic, improve your currency? So because right now the people are there but they can't feel you, we need to bring up your energy, and you bring up your energy when you can be yourself, and that's where authenticity comes in. That's where we have to really look into, why can't you be yourself right now? Where do you lack permission to fully be you? What are you so afraid of happening? And these are just stories, right? And they're limiting beliefs. So what we want to do is take that limiting belief and completely disrupt it. Because if you need everyone to like you, you'll be magnetic to no one, or you'll be magnetic to the people that want their hand held. You'll be magnetic to the people that always complain. You won't have the business or the opportunities that you want, and it's because you are downplaying yourself. You know this now. You know why you're not being a magnet. Now it's a choice of, do you stay where you are and you stay neutral, or you try and be opinionated, but then you're going to see that someone's unfollowed you, or someone like responds badly to you, and then you're going to go back into your shell? Or you're going to fully accept the fact that you're going to have to give yourself permission to change, to step into the new, and actually be able to repel and attract, right? And when you do that, that's when the people are going to feel you. And remember, we want the feeling, feels to be in your world. But if right now there's no feeling and there's just words and actions, you're not going to bring the people in. Just changing like your mindset won't change it. It's an identity piece. It's who you believe you are, who you see yourself as, what you're so afraid of if you were to just fully be your true self. Okay, so what I want you to do is I now want you to imagine being the woman who speaks once and it lands, who doesn't rush, doesn't convince, doesn't overgive, and doesn't ever explain her value, just because she is who she is and she gets paid for who she is, right? Because everyone, let's say again, fitness industry, I was in that industry, everyone does the exact same thing. Everyone does calories, macros, training program, accountability, like Loom videos, checking calls, blah, 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 right? Everyone does the same thing. What makes you stand out is you. It's you. It's how you say things, how you do things, right? So we have to actually turn up, okay, what makes you different? Like, in yourself. This woman who is a magnet, she's not braver, she's just backed by belief. She's no longer protecting the old identity that she's always been. She's fully now like accepted who she really is. She stands in her different, and she owns that difference. She doesn't filter herself, she doesn't hold herself back, she fully owns it. Now, you cannot perform your way to magnetism. You just simply can't. At some point, when you fake it till you make it, when you just like perform and try, it's just gonna get to a point where like people can see the leaks, or where you're so exhausted because you're trying all of this and it's still not working. When you're fully embodied in who you are, that's when the people are going to come in. So the real question becomes, who are you when you stop managing your perception? Who are you when the cameras are off, the lights are away, the clients aren't there, the laptop's gone? Who really are you when no one sees you? Right? Like, who are you deep down when you don't need to manage how you're seen, whether you're liked and all these perceptions? Who are you? Because that is who we need to bring to the surface. That is who people are attracted to. So magnetism is going to happen when you drop the like self-protection of, but what if I'm rejected? What if I'm not liked? What if they judge me? But most women have built their entire personality on protection. And that's because you've never disrupted the pattern. But we can't be protected and get to your next level. So we have to disrupt that. We create then safety in the newness by disrupting the old and giving it a different meaning. What I want to do is I want to invite you into my world, and that is of course the Disrupt the Pattern program. Inside this program, we completely remove the internal rules and fears you have around being your true self. And that's where your power really begins, because your approval ends. That is when the people are going to come in. And I am honestly a walking, talking representation of that. People like to work with me and come into my world because of my energy. That is the shift that we need, and that is why you're not a human magnet right now, right? You're not fully being like, yes, I'm me, right? You're trying to call the people in, but it's dead energy. It's liked, it's approval, it's I'm so scared to be my true self. Or it's even a case of I don't know who I really am, and that's okay. I was in the exact same position. I didn't know who I was until I'd done the deep subconscious work with my own NLP coach. I'm going to leave this video here. Like I said, I really want to invite you into my world so you can start to actually reap the benefits of your online business and actually get the business that you want, get the opportunities that you want, the panels, the podcasts, the guest expert experiences, all of that. You can have it all as soon as we disrupt the patterns keeping you here. Because it's not about trying harder, it's about no longer performing and fully just embodying. If you do want to enter my world for Disrupt the Pattern, head over to my Instagram and drop me a message saying magnet. I'll know you've come from this video and we can explore the options of us working together. Thank you so much for watching this video, and of course I'll see you in the next one.